We have a destructive severe weather outbreak that is about to unfold this weekend into early next week, followed by yet another destructive severe weather outbreak by the middle of next week that could include strong to intense long track tornadoes, very strong damaging winds that could be hurricane force at times, and some large to very large hail. And if that's not enough, flash flooding will also be in the picture as well. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for the latest weather information, accurate and reliable. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share this video with friends, family, and on social media. I definitely do appreciate it. Let's look at our temperatures for highs this Friday afternoon that we did see. We actually saw some record-breaking highs all the way up into the Midwest today, back into the central high plains. And our temperatures tonight will be cooling off, but it won't be cooling off too much. We're going to be cooling down only into the 50s and 60s across a good majority of the central and eastern United States. Cooler air up here into the northern high plains, into the very far upper Midwest, and into the Northeast, where we're a little bit cooler as we go here into tonight. And then we're going to warm temperatures back up on Saturday. Notice the warmer temperatures a little bit further to the south, more into Iowa, Illinois, into the Ohio Valley. But still, we're seeing highs in the 60s, 70s out there, a little bit cooler to the north. And we'll repeat that process again as we go into Sunday, again with the cold front coming in, pushing that warmer air further off towards the east. Now, we did talk about a multi-day severe weather outbreak that could be destructive here. It starts all tomorrow, okay? We have a slight risk of severe weather in Missouri, back into eastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma. So areas of Kansas City, Wichita, Topeka, all the way down into Tulsa and just north of the Oklahoma City metro. That is the higher end threat for severe weather. And then we're seeing more of a lower end threat in the dark green from central Texas stretching up into Iowa and northwestern Illinois. So looking here as we go into Sunday, ups the ante a little bit. We actually have a more widespread significant severe weather outbreak with an enhanced risk from Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois all the way south here into Arkansas, parts of Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, Mississippi, Alabama, and northern parts of Louisiana. Large slight risk from literally Ontario, Canada, all the way down here into East Texas, and in the dark green as well. We could have some severe weather, and then that all shifts east as we go into Monday. We have a large area of severe weather on Monday, March 31st, stretching from the northeast coast, New York City, Boston, all the way down here to the Gulf Coast, New Orleans, Mobile, and even Jacksonville. So a large area at risk on Monday as well. Let's start with the storm system itself, and this is where it's going to start. Saturday morning, low pressure. This is a mid-latitude cyclone across western Kansas, and it's going to track north and eastward into the Midwest there as we go into Sunday morning, down to 997 millibars there around Des Moines, Iowa. And then it's going to track here toward Milwaukee on Sunday afternoon, 996 millibars, before tracking up there toward Montreal, or just north of Montreal there in Quebec, as we go into Monday morning, March 31st. Why is that important? Because south of the low-pressure storm track is the open warm sector, and that's where we're going to have the threat for severe weather. And again, it all starts tomorrow. We have that marginal risk up here in the Midwest, slight risk here from Missouri back into Kansas and Oklahoma, marginal risks extending back here into Texas. Main threat here is going to be some large to very large hail. Could be seeing upwards to tennis ball, baseball size hail, especially here around Wichita and down here toward Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we have stronger instability for some big hail. The wind threat is going to be more secondary. This is a chance for some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and also a secondary threat of a tornado or two. This is a 2% chance of a tornado from middle and western Missouri into eastern and southeastern Kansas and northeastern portions of Oklahoma. Again, just south of the Kansas City metro. We're talking near Joplin, Springfield, Missouri, Wichita, up toward Topeka, and then into Tulsa there with a chance of a tornado. Again, a 2% within a 25-mile radius of any given point there. Looking at the setup, dew points going to be rising into the 50s, perhaps upper 50s to near 60s. And typically when you get dew points at 55 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, you introduce the threat for severe weather. So that is checkmarked here. That is one of the ingredients that we need. And then instability. We're going to see some pretty strong instability really starting to set up ahead of that dry line out here in the plains. Those classic plain dry line is going to be giving us 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram of instability across the eastern plains as we go into Saturday afternoon, and then the wind shear too. We're going to have that as well. So looking here at Saturday morning, pretty quiet. Going into the afternoon hours, though, we're going to get to see those showers and storms still holding off and holding at bay as we have a cap on the atmosphere. Once the cap breaks, and the cap is going to break once the dry line starts to lift those air parcels up, right? When the air parcels lift, we get those big cumulonimbus clouds, and then we start to see some severe thunderstorms, and these could be the ones to produce some big hail, a good Russia wind, 60 miles per hour here from the downdraft, and then we could even have a couple isolated brief tornadoes as well. But as we go into early on wee hours of the morning on Sunday, that'll shift further east towards St. Louis into western Illinois, toward Macomb and Quincy. But by this point, it's really starting to weaken with eastward extend as it's outrunning the better instability. But we could still have some claps of thunder. We could still have some smaller hail, some gusty winds, and some heavy rain with this. Make no mistake about it. If you're in Quincy, Macomb, St. Louis, those areas could be seeing a noisy start to our Sunday as we go into the weekend. And then Sunday will end noisy as well because we have another significant widespread severe weather outbreak here from the Great Lakes all the way to the Gulf Coast. And in these hatched marks, and especially in this red shaded color, that's a 30% chance of some significant severe weather. And this could include strong to intense long track tornadoes. We're talking EF2, EF3, maybe even EF4 strength tornadoes. We're also talking about widespread hurricane force winds, 75 miles per hour or greater, and hailstones that could be baseball, even softball size here on this day. And then as we go into Monday, same deal, but a little bit further off toward the east, including New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., all the way down here into Atlanta, New Orleans, and a lot of major metropolitan areas here at risk as we go into Monday. Notice here is the setup for the dew points. A lot richer moisture in the low levels is going to be advecting north from the Gulf all the way up into the Great Lakes. So it's not going to be just limited to the southeast or the Tennessee Valley. This is going to lift all the way up to Michigan with our 50 and 60 degree dew points there on Sunday. And then here comes our cold front scouring out our moisture, but still seeing a lot of moisture pooling out ahead of that cold front Monday afternoon for some widespread severe weather. Storm energy, not going to be any lack of that either. We're going to have a lot of it Sunday afternoon, especially from the Ohio River on south and westward, especially in these yellows and oranges. That's where we're talking 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram. The higher the number, the higher the storm energy there is. And then as we go into Monday, notice how that storm energy is not as strong, but it's still there, especially with southward extent into the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida with around 1,000 joules per kilogram. We're also looking at the wind shear too. We don't need just the moisture and instability. We need the wind shear to organize those thunderstorms and keep them sustained for a longer period of time. That's how you get the more significant severe weather. Notice how we have a little bit of a ripple in our jet stream, kind of a kink in the hose, if you will, and that could bring a lot more storm organization to the Illinois Valley, the Ohio Valley, all the way south toward the Gulf Coast on Sunday. And then we could see that a little bit here with a kink in the jet stream as we go into Monday as well. So looking here at Sunday morning, could have some storm clusters around, maybe some hail. It's really the afternoon hours, after lunchtime, really into the late afternoon, and overnight Sunday, we do stress the potential for strong long track tornadoes that could be nighttime tornadoes from Kentucky, especially on southward, where the instability and wind shear overlap for a longer period of time. Those storms could be ongoing literally Monday morning. We still could be waking up with tornadoes, large hail, and widespread damaging winds in places like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and to Georgia there. Very noisy start to Monday, and then those storms could reinvigorate as they move further east and be further north too as we go into Monday afternoon. So a noisy few days ahead. This is also going to be causing some problems as far as heavy rainfall is concerned. Could be seeing some very heavy rainfall with rainfall rates 1 to 2 inches or more an hour. That could put down a few inches of rain, and some flash flooding could result from that as well. This takes you through Tuesday, April 1st. And if that's not enough on the cold side, yes, we are still seeing a cold side to these storms. A crippling ice storm near the upper Great Lakes, southeastern Canada regions, and into the northeast, with snow a little bit further north from there. And notice how that just continues through the day Saturday and into Sunday. Those pinks, that's ice, that's sleet, that's freezing rain, and the blue, that is snow. And notice with the snowfall, could be seeing plenty of snowfall for southern Ontario into Quebec. Maybe some decent totals there too into northern Wisconsin near Lake Superior, the UP of Michigan near Lake Superior, and then over here into the interior sections of the Northeast, especially again upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine could be seeing some plowable snow there. But here's where it gets very interesting. We have a crippling ice storm, sleet, freezing rain adding up, again, not just on the pavement surfaces, but you got to think about the power lines, the tree branches, definitely going to be causing some stress on the infrastructure out there, and we could be seeing ice accumulations, quarter, half, maybe even 3/4 of an inch of ice accretion out here, and this could really cause some hazardous and dangerous travel, quite frankly, and could be giving us quite a bit of some power outages as well. Heading into next week, this is Tuesday, April 1st through Saturday, April 5th or so. Colder air out west. It's going to be well below normal for California and the western third of the U.S., warmer to the east, and we have the clash of the temperatures. Right in between is where we're going to have some problems as far as another significant storm system is concerned. And the concern is similar areas. We already have a day 6 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma for next Wednesday, April 2nd. Similar areas, Detroit, Chicago, all the way down to St. Louis here, Indianapolis, Memphis, Nashville, Little Rock, all the way to Dallas, Fort Worth, Shreveport, Jackson, Mississippi, you name it. Yeah, we have a lot of major metropolitan areas for another widespread, significant and destructive severe weather outbreak as we go into the middle of next week. It's all fed off of a very potent jet streak, 500 millibars, very strong, screaming out of the south and west. We have moisture return, but not at first, okay? This is Tuesday morning. The moisture from the cold front from this weekend system is going to scour the moisture out further south and east. Watch it return northward, and man, does it return north all the way into areas of Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan, and dew points could be surging well into the 60s, and this could also give us a lot of storm energy as we go into Wednesday as well. 1,000 joules per kilogram is what you need for severe weather, and that goes all the way to Michigan. So definitely seeing a lot of widespread ingredients for severe weather. And notice Wednesday morning, already out the gate, we could be talking about some severe weather in the morning as you're heading off to work or school. And then in the afternoon, just an intense, widespread severe weather threat from the Ohio River Valley and the southern Great Lakes region all the way back down here toward the southern plains, lower Mississippi Valley, Tennessee Valley. Need to be watching out for, again, strong to intense long track tornadoes, widespread hurricane force wind gusts, and some large to very large hail. And to add insult to injury, we're talking more widespread heavy rainfall over an area that's likely to be saturated already from the previous storm this weekend. So flash flooding will continue to be a threat. This storm will also have a cold side with it. The cold side will be a little bit further north where we have the snow and ice a little bit closer towards southeastern Canada, toward the Hudson Bay as well. That's where we could have another crippling ice storm with plenty of snow to go around, even into the eastern Dakotas, northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, but especially Ontario and Quebec. That's where we have more plowable snow, and another crippling ice storm will be possible. This time just a little bit further off towards the north. Here's the rainfall totals between now and Monday, April 7th, and notice a corridor from the Ohio River Valley Basin all the way back down here into Arkansas, and I think Arkansas, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Indiana are going to be in line for potentially double-digit rainfall totals between now and Monday, April 7th. Could be pushing 20 inches in some areas, and this is an area that was hard hit earlier on, if you remember, several months ago, too, by some heavy rain in Kentucky. So this is an area that can see some significant flash flooding once more as we go into the first week of April. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for reliable, accurate, and detailed weather information. We're going to keep you covered about the storm all throughout the week here and into the weekend. So make sure to subscribe, like the video. You guys know what to do. Press the like button. The more people that are informed, the better, because we know that the storms are coming, right? If you're informed, you know. If you don't know, but then that doesn't help, right? So we need as many people to be informed about this. So give it a like, share this video with friends, family, and on social media. If you want to post any comments, questions, concerns down below, you can do that. Follow me on Twitter at hweather420. That's also in the description down below the video for more rapid fire updates as well. Otherwise, thank you all for watching and have a wonderful rest of your week out there.